Yes, and now today we are going to explaining the topics of hypertext. Okay, let us see what is a hypertext. Hypertext is a system that provides a simple and consistent way to organize large data. So it is a system. By using this system, we can provide a simple and consistent way to organize our large data that includes text, images, pictures, videos, address, etc. available on the internet. Okay, so whatever the simple and consistent way of organized large data is available on the internet is treated as a hypertext. In hypertext systems, the document contain links to other related documents on the internet. So in these hypertext systems, the document contains link to other related documents on the internet. These links are called hyperlinks, hotlink, or simply links. Whatever the link of appearing in your internet is treated as hyperlinks, hotlinks, or simply links. Okay, hyperlink is used to jump to another part of the same page or to load a different web page. By using this hyperlink, you can jump to another part of the same page or to load a different web pages. Okay, yes, so that is your hypertext. Usually hypertext links appear in different colors, typically in blue and underlined from the rest of the text. If you see these hyperlinks, hypertext links, that will be appear in the color of blue and underlined from the rest of the text. Okay, when the cursor is moved over a text link or over a graphical link, it will change from an arrow to hand. So when the cursor is placed, for example, if I placed here, automatically you are seeing, right, here some link has given. Okay, it is not opening, but you are observing, right? So this is an hyperlink. When the cursor is moved over a text link or over a graphic link, if I can place the text link or else image as a link, it will change from an arrow to hand, as we have done in your HTML concepts, right? As we know how to set the text as a hyperlink as well as graphics as a hyperlink. Okay, hypertext words often provide a hint about the connected page. So whatever the text is appearing or whatever the graphics is appearing on that, it gives a hint about the connected page. When the user returns to a page with a link he or she had already visited, the hypertext word will often be in a different color. Whenever we visit that hyperlink, automatically the blue color will be turned into some other colors. Okay, indicating that link has already been used. So the blue color as a turned in some other color means already you have visited that page. Okay, either blue to it will be turned as magenta. Here we are seeing, indicating that link has already been used. However, the user can certainly use that link again. Even if you are visited, if you wish to you reuse that, then you can make the usage of that link once again. Okay, so here you are seeing here one of a text based link is there. If I click this web page is opening. If I click this text, it is opening this web page. So it is a hypertext documents. Okay, so hypertext links are appearing. Now our next topic is Internet Service Provider. Short form is ISP. What is ISP? Internet Service Provider. Okay, now an ISP is an organization that connects its subscriber computer using modem to the internet. For example, you are using your smartphone, right? If you want to connect your smartphone in the internet, you are turning on your data button, right? Then what is that data button? You are connecting your smartphone into a network. So how it is possible? Based on your SIM. So your SIM is a service providers, right? If you are using the Airtel means Airtel service providers, Jio means Jio service providers, Idea means Idea service providers. So they are the service providers. Internet service providers is an organization that connects its subscriber computer using modem to the internet. Here it is suggesting modem is a device. By using this device, we are connecting our computer in the network. Okay, the connection can be provided by telephone lines, cable lines, or wireless connections. Well, then how we are connecting the connections? The connection can be provided. We are providing the connection by telephone lines, cable lines, or wireless connections. Okay, so these are the connections we are using. In order to use the internet connection, the user has to first log on to the host computer using the username and password provided by the ISP. Some of the well-known ISPs are American Online, AOL, Microsoft Network, MSN, Yahoo. Let us see. In order to use the internet connection, if we connected our computer in an internet connection, the user has to first log on to the host computer. So we have to enter into our own computer using our username and password provided by the ISP. So if we connected our computer system in an internet, then we are using this modem connection. By using that modem connection, we have to enter our username and password first. If we enter the username and password, we can log in into that system. So some of the well-known ISP internet service providers are America Online, short form is AOL. What is AOL? American Online, Microsoft Network, MSN Messengers, Yahoo Messengers. So we are using, right? Nowadays you are having Gmail account, Yahoo account, all these things, right? If you want to send any mails, then you have to use these messengers. Okay, by how you are using these messengers? By entering your username and passwords. Okay, so even if you want to access these messengers, then your system or your smartphone has to must connected in a network. If it is not connected in a network, you are unable to access that data, right? Here some of the ISP providers are there. You are seeing BSNL, MTN, Bharati Airtel, Hathway, Tata Communication, and Reliance Communication. All these are the ISP providers. So we are using their SIMs. If you are using the SIMs and you have recharged the data pack, then you can only connected your smartphone to a network. If you connected a network only, you can access the information, right? So hence internet service providers are very important. While choosing an ISP, many factors should be kept in mind for subscribing. Whenever you are choosing an internet service provider, we have to keep many things. Let us see what are those. So first, the user should check the speed and consistency of the internet access. First, what we have to check? We have to check the speed and consistency of the internet access. Okay, so nowadays we are recharging some 559 or 599, right? 599 is for 84 days per day, 1.5 GB. So here it indicates 1.5 GB you can access the data per day, and it is up to a speed of 100 Mbps, right? 100 Mbps, and it must be a consistency of the internet access, right? So likewise, and these factors should be taken care. And second, E or should also check ISP's reliability. That is, whether the ISP provides consistent access to the internet or does it have frequent downtimes. So also after choosing our ISPs, also we have to check the reliability. Reliability in the sense, reliability is nothing but a trust. Okay, whether we have to check whether it is working in the same or it is getting down. Sometimes we are getting some term server down. What is that server down? Server down means you are unable to access your system in a network, right? Got it? So we have to check over that whether it is frequently downing the server or it is properly working, right? Got it? So likewise we have to check this factor also. So that is about your internet service provider. Now we are moving to the web servers. Let us see what is a web server. A server is a computer equipped with server software which provides a specific kind of service to client software running on the computers. For example, we are using nowadays we are using YouTube, right? YouTube as a server. Then what we are doing, we are uploading our videos on the YouTube and you are accessing through from that YouTube. Got it? I'm saying as YouTube is one of a software. I'm treated as a server software. That server software consists of a specific kind of service to the client. Who is the client? One who uses. right? Now you are accessing our classes through from your YouTube channel. Then YouTube channel is treated as one of a remote system which is equipped with server software and providing the service to the client software running on the computers. So client means one who uses the computer. He is also having his own softwares. By using his software, he is accessing his data, right? And next one is a web server receives request from the clients, process this request and sends the result back to the client. Now let us see what is a web server. A web server receives request from the client. Okay, web server receives request from the client. So now who is the client? Now you are accessing the class, you are requesting that services, right? If you click that hyperlink, you are getting that information, right? So then how you are getting that information? You are requesting that service, then the server is providing that request. Okay, process this request and send back the result back to the client. By using this web server receives request from the clients, process this request and sends the result back to the client. For example, you are choosing a Google, right? So google.com, if you search any information in the Google, then you are requesting. If you requested that data, then the server is a process your request and sends the result back to you with various options. In that options, you have to select which option is relevant to you. In other words, web server fulfills the client request. Okay, whatever we are suggesting in the above point is saved as web server fulfills client request. We are saying as browser's request. Client is nothing but a browser. Browser is a software. By using that software, we are requesting. Nowadays, this term has drastically changed. Apps, we are using the application programs, right? Apps, YouTube app, right? That app is also one of a browser. Okay, the browser request and process. Okay, yes. Let us see here. Here the server means one of a computer system. By using this computer system, we can able to connect thousands of computers. By using this server, we can able to connect thousands of computers and we can store a huge data in these systems. Okay, yes. Let us see. Here it is given. Server searches for the information and send it to the browser. Browser request for the information. Through from your browser, you are requesting the data to the server and server searches and send back to the processed state. Okay, so in your computer, you are having a browser. Through browser, you are requesting the data and server responds to your requested data. Okay, and steps, 4 steps. Let us see what is the 4 steps. To view a website, browser sends a request to the server. If you want to access any website, for example, if you want to access our college website, www.smcshirwat.org. What is our college website address? www.smcshirwat.org. So you have to type this address. Where do you have to type this address? You have to type this address in your browser. If you type that browser and you press the enter key, then you are requesting that web page to view. Okay, you are sending a request to the server. Got it? On receiving the request, the server sends the appropriate web page to the client machine. If you request our college website, then our college website will be respond to you. Okay, then you are the client. Server computer is where the website has been loaded. Okay, the client's machine receives the information in the form of HTML commands. Whatever the client machine browser, client machine is nothing but a browser, receives the information in the form of HTML document. Your web pages, you are accessing web page consists of HTML documents. HTML documents can be accessible by using HTML commands. Okay, the browser interprets the HTML, finds all the pictures and display the information onto the user screen. So your browser interprets the HTML file and finds all the pictures or other types of media and displays the information onto the user screen. So it is displaying on your user screens. Okay, multimedia means media means either it is a video or a picture or text based information. Okay, now download and upload. Let us see what is a download and upload. Download refers to the act of transmitting data from a remote computer on the internet or other network to one's own computer. So then what do you mean by download? This download refers to the act of transmitting. Then what do you mean by act of transmitting? Transmitting data. We are transferring. Transmitting means transferring. What we are transferring? Data. So we are transferring data from a remote computer on the internet or other network to one's own computer. Okay, to one's own computer we are accessing, we are transferring remote information data to our own system. Okay, yes. When the user downloads a file, he or she is actually copying a particular file from remote computer and placing it on his own or hard drive. So when the user downloads, so for example, you have written your internal assessment marks, sorry, you are written your internal assessment examination, you have scanned by using scanner or softwares or scanner app, and by using the browser, mail browsers, you have attached that files, right? So and you have sent to appropriate mail servers, our mail id, right? Mail id is nothing but a mail servers, right? Whatever the information you have sent, we have downloaded, we have transmitted from your remote computer system to our own computer system. Then where we are placing that data in our computer system? In our hard disk, hard drive. Okay, downloading allows a user to save file for later use. If I download your files, I can be used for later use. Okay, if I downloaded your attachments, your answer scripts, I will compare whether whatever the hard copy you have submitted and whatever the soft copy you have submitted is the same or not. Okay, so whenever it is necessary. Okay, we have already downloaded, and downloading all user to save file for later use, thereby reducing the time spent online and the corresponding charges. Okay, instead of viewing through online, then what I am doing, if I download it, afterwards in offline mode I can view whatever the data transmitted from remote system to my system. Okay, yes. Upload. Now another concept is upload. Upload is just opposite of download. Upload is just opposite of download. Let us see what is a upload. Okay, upload refers to the act of transmitting data from local computer to any other computer. So we are downloading the data whatever you have uploaded, right? Okay, then what you are doing, you are transmitting. Transmitting means transferring. You are transferring data from local computer to any other computer. So through from your system to some other computer on the internet or network. So you are transferring your system, you are transferring your data from your system to some other computer in a network or a internet. Okay, for example, a software company may upload a demonstration of its new software onto the web so that user can download the software, right? Yes. So if you require any softwares in your smartphones, what you will do? In Google Play Store, right? Google Play Store is where all the softwares, all the apps are available. Apps are nothing but softwares, application softwares. Okay, yes, by using that you are downloading. Okay, if somebody is uploaded, then you can download. If somebody has uploaded, then you can download that softwares. Okay, now online and offline. Let us see what do you mean by online and offline. The term online is commonly referred to the state of being connected to the networked computer system or internet. So here the term online is commonly referred to the state of being connected. How long you have connected, how long you have stayed in a network computer system or in the internet is treated as an online, right? So if we have, whether we are turned on online in 24 hours, no, right? If you turn on 24 hours, what happens? Your data pack per day will be, exceeds, right? So for example, if you are browsing the www, your computer is said to be online. Okay, if you are browsing the www, your computer is said to be online. For example, Now we are attending online classes, right? If 6 hours is continuously executing, then what happens? You have to turn on your data pack. If you turn on your data pack data option, then your computer is connected, your hand phone or your smartphone has been connected in the network, and it will be accessed 6 hours continuously as an online. After the 6 hours you are turning off, right? Once you turn off, automatically it will go for an offline, right? Being online also refers to any peripheral device that is connected to the system and ready to use. So if you are online means you can also use some peripheral systems. Some peripheral system means it is just like as you are seeing some ads, right? Some printer ad. So mother is sending your child to school bus. At that time, boy came to know he has not bought that hard copy, right? Through from that, his smartphone, he turn on the system, he turn on the printers and give the printing, right? So you are sitting somewhere else and turn on it and you are accessing your information. So this is nothing but an online. Means you are accessing that printer device, that peripheral device. So if you stay connected in an online, you can also access stay connected peripheral devices also. Okay, offline is just the opposite of online. Offline is just the opposite of online. It refers to the state of not being connected to the remote computer or internet. Here offline is there. Offline is just the opposite of online. It refers to the state of not being connected. State of not being connected to the remote computer or internet. You are not connected in a remote computer or you are not connected in a internet. Okay. A printer or other peripheral that is not ready to use, it also considered as offline. If a printer or any other peripheral devices that is not ready to use means it is also considered as offline. Okay. Yes. Now getting connected to the internet. Let us see how to getting connected to the internet. Yes, let us see getting connected to the internet. The basic requirement for getting connected to the internet are, what are the basic requirement for connecting the internet? One, we must have the computer. Second, modem. Third, internet connection. Fourth, internet software. So these are the basic requirements we must require to connect the internet. We must have a computer or a smartphone. If you have a computer, then you must use a modem. By using this modem, ISP service provider can be accessible, and through this ISP service provider we are establishing the internet connection. And if you want to establish the internet connection, we must have an internet softwares. Okay, clear? Yes. Now let us see first one, the computer. The computer must have at least 386 microprocessor chip with a minimum of 16 MB of RAM. Okay, the computer must have at least 386 microprocessor chip with a minimum of 16 MB of RAM. It must consist of a good processor and good RAM. Okay, for a good browsing experience, use a faster chip with more RAM. Okay, if you want to access a speed data through from a network, then you must use a high configured processor and high configured RAM. In addition, a color monitor with at least 640 × 480 resolution and capability of displaying a minimum of 256 colors is also vital. So if you want to access the information in a color monitor, a color monitor must have a good resolution. So then what is the good resolution you are suggesting? Minimum resolution. It is not a best resolution. 640 × 480 resolution capability is required with 256 colors display. Okay, it will display 256 colors. Actually we can able to access 1.6 million 16 million colors. It is also having some various resolutions. Resolution means clarity. Okay, the system should also possess a hard disk with at least 200 MB of free space to store internet software and temporary internet files. Also your system must consist of high capacity hard disk. Here at least suggesting as 200 MB with of a free space to store internet software and temporary internet files. Okay, so you can store internet softwares as well as temporary internet files. For example, in your smartphone you are using memory cards. What is a memory card? Additional spaces. Likewise, for your computer it requires an hard disk. Okay, since the web is multimedia medium, you can also enjoy sound on your system with sound cards and a pair of speakers. So in your web, if it consists of a multimedia medium means audio videos. So if you want to access that audio and video through from your system, your computer must consist of sound system with sound card and a pair of speakers. Okay, yes. Next, our equipment is modem. Apart from the previously mentioned configuration, a computer system must have a device called modem. If you want to connect your computer in a network, you are required a modem. Nowadays, in the place of a modem, dongles are using, right? Dongles are hotspots. Got it? So you are using modem. Modem is a device which enables a computer to transmit data over telephone lines. By using this modem, you are using wired connections. Wired connection means cable connection. The cable connection is of telephone lines. Okay. Yes. So a modem, it is an acronym. A modem stands for modulator demodulator. What is a modem? Modulator or demodulator is the hardware. It is one of a physical device which converts digital data into analog signal, that is modulation, that can be sent over an analog telephone lines and convert the analog signal back into digital data, that is demodulation. So a modem is an hardware device. By using this device, it converts analog signal into digital signal into analog signal back. Okay. So first, whatever we are speaking, it is converting into machine signal, and while receiving heads, the machine signal will be once again converted into digital signal. That's it. Okay. So thus, when the modem receives the data from a web server through telephone system, it reconstitutes the analog signal into digital form so that the computer can understand it. So when the modem receives the data from the web server, so how it is receiving? It is sending digital data through from the wire, it is converting into analog form, and while receiving the server, the digital data is sending through wire, it will be converted as analog signal. Okay, and analog signal into the digital form so that the computer can understand it. It means we are sending the data in the form of signals. Okay, whatever you are speaking, it is a digital form. Digital form is converting into analog form, and analog form is converting into digital form. So it will be happens 2 edges. The most critical aspects of the modem is its speed of operation. Okay, the most critical aspects of the modem is its speed of operation. Okay, so modem has to perform speed of operation. The speed of a modem is measured in kilobits per second. How we are measuring the speed of a modem? That is kbps. Okay, kbps stands for kilobits per second. Modern modem supports 28 kbps to 56 kbps speed. So if you are using the modern means, nowadays it is supporting up to 100 gbps. It depends upon the cost. Okay, yes. So according to your book, it is suggesting as 28 kbps to 56 kbps speed. Then what is kbps? Kilobits per second. Kilobits per second. Okay, and modem are of two types. Let us see what are the modems types. Internal modem and external modem. Let us see what is an internal modem. Internal modem is a card which is fitted inside the computer with a LED running directly from the computer to the telephone socket. So your internal modem is a card, one of a card. That card is already fitted inside the computer with a LED running directly from the computer to the telephone socket. So it consists of just as a socket, just as a USB port, okay, or some port, okay. And external modem is a small external box wired between the computer and telephone sockets, okay. This external modem, in the sense, it is consist of a external box, a box type of a box type of a device, that through that device, then what you are doing, you are connecting the computer and telephone socket, okay. You are using that device to connect your computer and telephone socket, got it. So modems are two types. One is internal means it is already built in your system through from the lines, telephone sockets, you are directly connecting it. External modem, in the sense, it is a box type of a device which is in between the computer and telephone socket means plugs, okay. Next, internet connection. Now we will see what is internet connection. Before connecting to the internet, you need to buy an internet connection from an authorized ISPs. So before connecting to the device in a network, then you must buy an internet connection. So that is what we are exactly saying as data pack. So we are purchasing data pack from authorized persons, right? Through from authorized persons you are purchasing. And next, the speed of accessing the internet entirely depends upon the type of connection you bought from the ISP. Then what about the speed of accessing the internet? The speed of accessing the internet entirely depends upon the type of connection. What are the type of connection you bought from the ISP? Based on the ISP type of connection, it may be depends, okay. Yes, that is what exactly we are accessing 100 Mbps, right? Maybe 10 Mbps or 28 50 Mbps per day. We are accessing our GB 1.5 Gbps 1.5 Mbps sorry Gbps, right? 1.5 GB 1.5 GB data, right? Then what is its speed? Its speed may be 50 Mbps or 100 Mbps. That may be depends upon ISP you're purchasing. Some of the connections available for the users these days are briefed below. Let us see what are the connections available for the user of these days here, okay. Some of the connection available for the users these days are briefed below. What are the connections we are using? First, dial-up connection. So if you are using wired connection, then we have to use the telephone lines. By using telephone lines, we have to dial up. A dial-up connection is the access method that uses the telephone lines to connect it to the internet. If you want to connect your computer system, then you must use a modem and telephone lines, and you have to connect through from dial-up connections, okay. It is the most common way for individuals who uses home computer to connect to the internet. So one who uses the home computers, then we are going to be using, nowadays we are not using all these terms. It has been drastically replaced with wireless connections, okay. To connect to the internet by using dial-up, the user need to specify a username and password. If you want to connect your computer system in the internet through our dial-up connections, you must enter your username and password to our telephone number. After the connection is established, the user can start browsing sites on the internet. Once the connection is established, then user can browse any site in the internet, okay. Next, ISDN. We will continue ISDN in the next class.